What are you doing? Are you still doing the live transfer system? Are you still selling over the phone? Or are you doing a little bit of both? Or
I'm actually transitioning to a little bit of both. Again, I'm the one that I will tell you up front. I hate calling. I hate dialing. I hate doing all that. But it's just something in this business you have to do. You have to pound the phones. You have to get in front of clients. Like for me, I've always been told, and like I think me and you've gotten to a couple debates over it. I'm good at what I do, but again, it doesn't matter how good you are or what it is. If you don't have clients to sit in front of, it's doing you no good.
good afternoon, everyone. We're on the Elite Sales Podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. out here in Los Angeles, well, Gardena, California. Um, my name is Jean-Pierre. I'm with Family First Life Elite Performance. We got Paola Alvarez, and we have obviously Mr. Yoel.
What's up, guys? What's up?
So welcome, welcome. We're glad you guys made it here and you're able to share this time with us. So today we're really going to go over some basic things of what I would say new agents, and even experienced agents can hear to help them, be more successful in the field. I know we have a new VP in the building, Mr. Micah. So shout out to you, Micah. Are you on the call? And if you are on the call, please unmute.
Did you let him know ahead of time?
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Doesn't look like
It's
he's
all right.
on.
It's
He's
all
not
right.
on
Well,
yet.
Micah just hit VP. So for everyone, that's 150 families helped in 1 month. So congratulations to Micah. He's out on the East Coast. Great job for Mr. Micah. Um, Also, number two, we got Trent and Casey. They're also hitting, I think, senior VP and VP. So Casey hit VP, I believe, last month, and so did Trent. So shout out to these guys.
Good job, guys.
Very
Good
well for
job.
leading your team and really getting these guys to sell and do your thing, man. I'm very proud of you guys. But let's go over a few things today. So we're going to talk about, for a new agent, how to get them moving fast. We just got out of a training with Brittany Smart, and I think the biggest thing that I've learned from her and Albert is just being able to manage your time very well in this business will get you a long way. So for myself, and I know Paola can probably talk about this for a second, I think having a set schedule, number one, is going to help you more than anything. Your lead flow obviously is going to help your set schedule, but that's like tied for the most important thing. So, Paul, I know you're new. How many families have you helped so far?
So far, I think I've helped about 10 families.
10 families. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I couldn't help 10 families for like a year into the business. So, you did much better than me. So, I
Thank
mean,
you.
you did a very good job.
That's awesome.
What do you think attributed to that, to your success so fast, moving into Family First Life, coming from a different industry?
I mean, I think it was just preparation. I knew that I wanted to do this full time. So I prepared for it. It took me 2 months before getting licensed to really, put myself in situations and places where, you know, around agents that are already writing business and, just learning, staying on the podcasts, on the Zoom meetings and just networking with people in the business already.
I love to hear it. I mean, I'm proud of you, man. Like,
Thank
it
you.
took me so long to write. If anyone knows, it took me years to write 10 policies in 1 month. And Paula did it her second month in the business. So shout out. That's very
Thank
good.
you. And it's just putting myself out there, like, letting all my friends and family know, like, I'm a insurance agent. So,
That's right.
if you need insurance, call me.
That's right. So don't be afraid to work your warm market and your leads. We are a lead based company, but please, we can help people we know with life insurance as well.
Yes.
Is Trent on the call? I want to bring Trent on real quick because I want to talk to him.
What up, JP?
Hey, what up, Trent? How you doing, man?
I'm out here living it, brother. Out here living it.
I see you helped about 350 families last month, or so far, or yeah, last month in June.
Yeah, we did.
Can you
We
turn
did
your
something
camera
like
on?
that for sure.
Can you turn your
Huh,
camera
bro?
on?
I mean, dude, you're gonna make fun of me, well, bro. My thing is beat up, dude. I gotta get into a computer. My camera don't work. I would though. I would. My bad.
That's the first. That's a unique excuse. I like that one.
You like that?
So Trent, I know you have some experience in this business, and I've seen how you transitioned from, your practice company to FFL. And man, I'm proud of you, dude, because you've been able to motivate your team and get people in a position where they can win. but I wanted you to jump on real quick and comment, how did you, move so fast, and what did you implement, to make your team successful from the jump?
I mean, I wish I could tell you something that was like super intricate, but it's really not. It's understanding like what people's why are, and understanding both faucets of the business between, producing and hiring and training. I think a lot of times, we get so stuck on the quantity of hiring, but it's really like my entire life, it's all been quality over quantity for me. So it's like, you don't need, 500 people, to write 500,000. You really don't. You just need a really strong group of people that understand the growth in the business between, obviously growing your downline and obviously producing every single month and implementing that and letting them see that. So like, for me, my main guy, Casey, we're on the same page in what we want to do. And that's a big thing for me. Like my biggest goal when I came onto here, with Casey, was I wanted to make sure that Casey was gonna succeed. Because if Casey succeeds and Misha succeeds, and then inevitably I'm gonna succeed. And you just become available. That's always been a big thing for me. I'm always available. Casey's always available. And any questions that are there, we always make sure we answer. We're not selfish either, brother. Like I would say, like I'm blessed, and I hate using that word blessed because people overuse that like old pair of shoes. But I mean, I just really am, like, I'm blessed because the team that we have is just, it's so selfless. Like everyone helps everybody. It doesn't matter if you're part of that, part of that exact downline, but if we're part of the same team, we all help each other. And everyone has a different route, man. Like, some people like doing live transfers. Some people like using call tools. Some people like just doing it the old fashioned way, going to people's houses. And bro, it's okay. Just maximize the way that works for you. That's pretty much it, man. It's all about understanding profitability in the business, because it doesn't matter if you write 20,000, or you protect 20 families or whatnot, and your lead cost is 20,000. It's like, she didn't work. It doesn't matter. So it's all about profitability and staying consistent week in and week out. You have to show up, and you can't work part-time and expect full-time results. And I think a lot of people come to this business thinking that, hey, look, obviously FFL offers a great opportunity with high comp. So sometimes people go high comp, less work. But in reality, it's the same work, get paid more. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
And I just, like I said, I told when I first came to FFL, it's almost been exactly a year now, I think. We're obviously a little bit behind between what I want to do. I wanted to be at, I wanted to be at least by now in the first 12 months. So we're a little behind. We have a lot of growth, but it's just understand everyone has to,
right?
huh? Yeah.
500 families.
500 families, man. 500 families. So we want, we obviously, we wanted to be there. But it's just like everybody that gets hired, they have to have their starting five of the people they want to bring on and work with. Because I don't want to work with a bunch of weirdos. I want to work with people I like, because inevitably we're going to be more successful that way. So everyone has to understand the process. Once everyone understands the process, dude, you're all running the same play. You feel like Lombardi out there. You know what I mean?
Hey, I like that. I like that, man. Hey, I'm proud of you, dude. Like, I know you have a lot of experience and you brought it over to FFL, and I could just tell just looking at your team. I mean, you got a solid crew, bro. So I appreciate you jumping on. Casey, let's hear from you for a second. Or Casey, you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo, Casey, what's going on?
What up?
Hi,
Hey,
Casey.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
I wanted to give you a quick shout out because I know you've been doing the Elite Dials and been running that for the last 2-3 months. What have you been practicing now to maybe speed up the process of getting lead flow with different vendors, or what are you doing? Are you still doing the live transfer system? Are you still selling over the phone, or are you doing a little bit of both? Or
I'm actually transitioning to a little bit of both. Again, I'm the one that I will tell you up front, I hate calling, I hate dialing, I hate doing all that, but it's just something in this business you have to do. You have to pound the phones, you have to get in front of clients. Like for me, I've always been told, and like I think me and you've gotten to a couple debates over it. I'm good at what I do, but again, it doesn't matter how good you are or what it is. If you don't have clients to sit in front of, it's doing you no good. So again, based off your budget, your your availability, you have to figure out what works for you. Either live transfers, call-in, a mixture of both, anything like that. So like I've actually, kind of left, not really left, but kind of downplayed with live transfers and started on call tools. I just got that set up and going this week. I'm running through a whole bunch of old leads, kind of doing that kind of thing. But again, you can't really get stuck in one thing with this business because, everything's evolving. 5 years ago, you could call people and people would answer their phones. Nowadays, like you can't get anybody on the phone nowadays. You have to revert to texting or emailing, or you have to get creative as, the industry grows. You have to evolve with it. So again, you can't rely on one thing. It's just like, in life, we all dream of having multiple lines of income. You have to have multiple lines of leads, multiple lines of clients, multiple lines of recruits. Everything in this business comes in multiple lines. So again, you never want to shut yourself off on not doing something just because of personal pride or ego or whatever it may be. But, just having an open mind in this business is going to help you grow. And I think that's really what's, been successful for us. Being open-minded and just being selfless and being available for our team and our people.
Absolutely. I respect that.
Dude, you know what's funny? I remember at the practice company, actually, Casey, you're from the same practice company. I remember right when I was like, I think getting ready to leave is when iPhones had the scam likely come up. Like that was like when they first introduced it, right? Before, like you could really call anybody and you wouldn't know, where it was coming from, right? Like that scam likely thing's only really been around for like maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
It feels like forever, right? And I was like, dude, like my comp here is too low for this additional barrier. And then I was like, dude, I'm out. It was so funny. Like you got to just adapt, and like some systems just don't work, for, some comps are just not high enough to justify certain things. That's why that old practice company just sucked.
Oh yeah. I mean, Casey, I know you could, attest to this. Working with FFL and you start at, 90, 100%, 100%, 110%, it goes a long way compared to working at a 30 or 40% comp. I know I didn't come from a practice company. I never did insurance before. I did sales for years before that. But I mean, I know you could appreciate coming over here. You're able to do the same work and get paid 3 times as much. But I have one more question for you. So I know that you and Trent have been growing a lot lately. Are there any internal team things that you guys are doing to help boost up your, momentum with your group that you have working with you?
Kind of go back to the first thing you said, as far as for, with the old company, the old practice company. I actually forgot what you actually said, but anyway.
It's
but
all good, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, but anyway, taking those experience, I mean, that experience definitely has made me grow into this company. And obviously, I mean, if you just look at it from outside looking in, if you're going to do the same amount of work, you might as well get paid double for it. You might as well get paid more for it. So again, like having a high comp obviously makes it better because you're doing the exact same amount of work. You're still grinding the phones. You're still door knocking. You're still, putting time and effort in trying to get clients. But again, you just get paid more money for it. So it's a no-brainer right there. Now, as far as for the second question, like what are we doing? Like Trent said, I wish there was something like that I could say that we are doing special, or we're doing, we're doing this, we're doing that. And basically for the month of June, I actually stopped recruiting. Actually, for the last couple months, I've stopped recruiting. I put no money into recruiting, personal money into recruiting, and, just focused on the team I had. Because again, we get so involved in, trying to, the numbers game. We all play the numbers game, but in recruiting, it's a little bit more than just a numbers game. Yes, you want, a handful of people, a good number of people to bring on, but again, you can't just bring them on and just let them go. You have to spend time with them. You have to, be available for them. They have a 90-day learning process. So what I kind of been doing is like a 90-day wave. Like I'll do hiring, and then 90 days I won't hire, and just focus on those people that I hired and get them going. Because again, you don't need a lot of people to write a ton of business, to help a lot of families. Like if you focus on, 5 or 10 people and get them, protecting 10 families a month. I mean, that's your VP right there.
Yeah.
out of just 5 or 10 agents.
Yeah.
So again, it's not really a numbers game, is kind of how we're looking at it. And me and Trent, we've known each other for years. We worked at the practice company for years. We work almost alike. It's scary almost. So like just having that same mindset, having that partner that has that same mindset and doing what we do, and just focusing on our team, being available. My girl hates it all the time. I get a phone call, we're watching a movie, I get up and answer it. And again, that's what you have to do when you're running a business. When you run a business and have a team, you work 24/7. A lot of people have the mindset of being an entrepreneur, you could work less. No, you actually work more.
Yeah.
And you have to be available for your team, because again, if they don't feel like you're available, then they're not going to call you anymore. They're going to feel like they're left out in the cold by themselves, and they're eventually just going to fall off.
Yeah.
And I've actually talked to a lot of people that wanted to transfer from other agencies or had worked with FFL before. And that's the exact same thing was been going on with them. Is I didn't even know who my upline was. I never spoke with them. They hired me on. They got me through contracting. They told me to go buy leads and go get it. And like, that's the last time I heard from them. And again, you can't do that in this business, especially now, since, most of it's virtual. You don't have that office morale that you're building every single day, where again, you can kind of check up on people, but you also don't want to micromanage people either. Because again, people get in this business not to be micromanaged, not to be told what to do. But again, you do have to have hold them accountable for what they promise they're going to do and their goals and their why.
Yeah.
So again, the biggest thing is setting them up, making sure that the process of setting people up are right. Get to know them. It's like, in a home presentation, you're building that rapport. When hiring, you want to build that rapport. You want to understand their why. You want to know if they have wife, kids, what their schedule is going to be like, what days, if they had a bad past, what days they got to go to AA meetings or NA meetings. Like, again, things happen. We all have baggage. But again, you want to know all that stuff. You want to dive deep into somebody's life, because again, you're going to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like I told a client the other day that I actually had to change, that I was going to change her number so my wife wouldn't think another girl was calling me, because she called me so much. But again, that's how much you have to be dedicated and involved in the team. And again, I don't have a lot of agents under me. I think the last month we protected, 262 families, and I had less than 15 agents writing.
Yeah, that's good. Very
so
good.
Again, you focus on your team and don't worry about hire. You worry about the people you did hire. Put time into them. Yes, it's going to be backfall. Yes, you're going to take 5 steps forward and 2 steps back. That's just part of growing a business. But again, if you have the mindset that's going to happen, you're expecting it, but then still just focus on the people that are working, are showing up, and put time into them, you're going to grow. I mean, that's just how it's going to work.
I think kind of one thing, the big thing, Casey, I'm going to say it's very simplistic. People do not want and they will not recruit if they are not making money.
That's true.
That is 100% the reason why we do things the way we do, is because if they're not making money and they're struggling, they're not going to recruit. And if they do recruit, it's not going to be successful because they don't have the certainty in their voice or the confidence in their voice or their delivery to get that person on. Plain and simple.
So let's talk about that for a second. And that's good that you mentioned that, because I believe that's 100%, 1000% true. If you talk to Albert for a while, he has so much confidence because he's been doing the business for so long, and he's been here at FFL for 4 years or 4.5 years or however long. He knows that it works. So like when you talk to him, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no questions. So maybe as us, and even for myself, I can make sure I pass on that same confidence to the team that that I'm working with, that we're all working with, to make sure that we are giving them the best opportunity to make money. So just a good idea for this, just put it this way: most people make $4,000 to $5,000 a month in a typical job, $40,000 to $60,000 a year. Now with Family First Life, and Trent, you can definitely speak to this because I know you've written a lot of business before, and I've seen Casey write a ton of business over the phone. We can help. 4 to 5 families. If you're on a roll, 4 to 5 families a day. We're doing last week, I did 2 to 3 families a day. So we can help transition people from that 9 to 5 job that they're not really, or maybe that they're stuck in, and put them in a position to where they can really win. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that. And us as leaders, we definitely got to communicate that confidence, because it is the best opportunity I've ever seen. 100%, hands down.
People just have to have a goal every day or every week. And I think people just log on and They're there. It's just like, it's kind of like people that go to the gym, bro, that just sit on the machine on their phone. It's
Yeah.
like they think they're now healthier because they just walk through the door. So
Yeah.
you have to have like a goal. Like, this is what I want to accomplish every day. If it's protecting one family, two family, three families a day, or 10, 15 families a week, you have to go after it. And I'm 100% advocate. If you have a goal to protect 15 families in a week and you do that on Wednesday, bro, go hang with your family. I'll
Yep.
see you next week.
Yep.
I'm a bit, and I tell Casey that all the time, dude. Like, if I have someone call me and they've had a good week, and it's Thursday, they're getting slaughtered, because we have days like that, right? We're just like, man, I'm like, hey, dude, it's 1 o'clock, dude, take it off. Just stop, hang it up, hang out with your family, and we'll start fresh tomorrow. I'm an advocate of that, man. If you've hit your goal and you've had a successful week, I'm not saying there's going to be some weeks where you keep pushing, like you said, right? Like when you're on a roll and you're just crushing it. Yeah, dude, you got to just Mark McGuire it, dude. Just keep hitting them out of the park. But, like, if you hit your goal, you're good. Work-life balance. You can make a lot of money and work smart. You don't have to work super hard. You just have to have a plan. That's it.
Yep. 100%. Hey, thank you, Trent and Casey, for jumping on. I appreciate it. By the way, Trent does have the best logo in all FFL, Family First Life Superfly. You can comment on that. You can comment on that. Superfly. I feel
Yes,
you on
sir.
that. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's transition this call back over to some of the new agent items that we're going to discuss today. And I appreciate you guys jumping on the call with us. We're going to talk about number one, how to manage your dial day. So that's the biggest part of this business. So Trent and Casey, they're very experienced agents. They don't necessarily go to the field anymore. They sell directly over the phone. For a brand new agent like Paola or other agents, Patty, that work with me, they're going to definitely set appointments to where they can go see people and families, so they have a higher closing ratio and they can, help more families along the way and make more money for themselves. So a good way to start, and I remember when I first started here, I used to come to Albert's office at 7:30 in the morning, me and Derek. Shout out to Derek Brower if you're on the call, Mr. Derek. We used to come here at 7:30 in the morning, and we would dial until like 8 o'clock at night. And the purpose behind doing that was not to clock in or clock out. It wasn't. The purpose behind of dialing in that much, dialing that much in that amount of time was to get the repetition down. And if we knew over time, if we were going to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over, sooner or later, we're going to be freaking beasts at this, you know? So if you can commit your Monday dial day from 7:30 to 8 p.m. at night, maybe take a 30-minute to 1 hour break in between your dial session, your results are going to be out the park. Now, obviously, when you first start, just like what Trent said, or Casey said, excuse me, there's like a 90-day window where you're kind of like learning everything. And that's definitely true. But I put it like this. When I first started, I was terrible, like very, very bad on the phones. But the repetition of me doing it so many times, it's just like you naturally get better at doing it. We all been driving a car for years now. We could drive with one hand, talking on the cell phone, texting. But when we first started, we had our hands, 10 and 2, driving the car, very careful, because that's what we had to do. So number one, let's focus on where we are definitely putting in the amount of time that we need to do, to get the results that we want. Number two, about a dial day tip that I can definitely help the team with, that I know it's definitely helped myself, is to buy enough leads. The good thing is, depending on who your upline is, they might be able to help you with some old leads. Albert helped me out a ton of times. When I was short on cash, he helped me out with leads. He helped out a lot of other people with leads. If you have more opportunities to sell, doesn't matter how good or bad you are, you're going to make money. And the more money you make, the more confidence you're going to have, and the more willing you are to actually dial the phone more to serve more families. So that's the second biggest thing. So I want to ask you, Paola, because I know you've been here for 2 months or less. How much time do you feel that you need to dial to book maybe 10 appointments for 2 days? How much time?
I mean, I would say at least a minimum of 8 to 10 hours a day.
That's pretty good. I was you're much better than me. When I first started, I dialed like 16 hours to set 10 appointments. So if you could put it into context, like a brand new agent who might be good on the phone from the jump, you might not have to struggle as much, but still the struggle is still going to be there. So Paola, she only has to dial 8 hours, to get 10 appointments, 10 to 15 appointments for the next 2 days. But a typical agent, I mean, you might have to put more time in, and that's going to be okay, because the more time in, like I said, the more repetition, the more you are going to be better at setting appointments, the more money you're going to make. You're going to upgrade your life. You're going to help out your family. You're going to bring more people on board. And the whole situation is just going to be a revolving train. So, with that being said, I do have one other question for you, Paula. Uh, were you nervous when you wrote your first policy? Like you didn't know what you were doing?
Of course, yes. It was all brand new to me, so I didn't really know the products. So yeah, but I wasn't scared to ask for help. So, luckily you were always available to help anytime. So
Well, I appreciate that.
made it easy.
I appreciate that. Paula is not like most. When I got in the home, I didn't call anyone. I just tried to do it on my own. And that's why I didn't close like the first 10 appointments. I was just like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But the good thing about FFL that we have great uplines here that can help you. We got Albert, and he's been doing this business for 15 years. You got Trenton Casey, 8, 10 years in the business. You got myself, you got 3 years. You got John, 10 years plus in the business. You got a lot of people who can really help you, move along faster and make the type of money that you want to make. Um, I know are we short on time or we're good?
We got plenty of time.
We have plenty of time. It feels like we're going longer on this podcast than what's needed. No, I know, no, I didn't mean it in a bad. I didn't mean it in a
What do
bad
you
way.
mean?
No, I thought it was 40 minutes to an hour. I want to make sure.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay, cool.
I'll cut you off.
I know you will for sure. I know you definitely will. I wanted to really shout out Micah. So Micah's been with us for about a year now. I don't know if he's on the call right now, but I texted him yesterday that I was going to shout him out. But he's been with us for about a year, and he just hit VP. And I wanted to question him on a few different things that he's been doing, to really help his team.
Marlon's on. He's been working.
Marlon's here. Yo, Marlon, jump on real quick.
What up, fam?
What up, fam? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I see. I'm doing
Your
great.
camera work, Marlon, or no?
Yeah. Let me
thank
just
God.
step away. You know what I'm saying?
I thought we had 2 broken cameras. I was like, what are the odds?
What's good?
Hey, I see your team. You guys are growing, man, and it's very inspiring to see such high numbers come in a short amount of time. I know you've been working with Micah for quite a while now, for about a year or so. So what are some of the things that maybe you're implementing that maybe myself, my team, and other people on the call that they could benefit from to help them move business a little bit faster, get paid a little bit quicker, make more money?
Yeah. I'd say just the basics, brother. Just, sticking to, leading from the front, number one. I remember when Mika and I would have calls, months ago when we would talk for hours, and he'd be like, man, I just want to get to 1,000. And I'm like, bro, it's very simple. All you have to do, because he was writing about 1,000, right? So I'm like, okay, how much did you spend in leads to reach 1,000? He's like, X amount. Double that. You want to do 20, you got to double the lead investment. You got to triple the lead investment. So, you can buy your production here. FFL is all about, if you want to write 1,000 and you hit that, cool. If that works for you, cool. If you need to hit 50,000, you can purchase that with your leads, because X amount of leads will lead you to a certain production. So
let's talk about that for a second, because that was key what you just said. You said you could purchase your production here. I know that you came from a practice company where the lead flow was not quite the same.
Well, for one, I couldn't purchase my own leads over there. Yeah. So, the catch is, hey, you won't have to spend anything, but we're also going to put you at 40, 50%, And
give you 10 leads for the month.
Right. Give you 10 new ones and 50 old ones, and all of the leads provided, even the new ones, quote unquote, were not direct life insurance leads. These were a bait and switch, as we like to call them, because that's what they truly are. So yeah, just a completely different ballgame. But, going back to Mika, that was the first thing. Number one is you just got to lead from the front. You got to do it, because the thing is, you can hire, and eventually your people are going to be like, hold on, I got a call. So eventually, people will be like, on your team, like, well, what are you writing? They're going to check up on you and see what you're doing. And, your knowledge can only go so far, your experience can only go so far. So he did it. He had 3 months in a row where he did 30, 30, 30. And Mika is super well-rounded. I mean, the kid, we all know he works very hard, and he's, he knows every carrier,
That's
inside.
true. That's true.
Too much for his own good. And but it's really valuable of him, and he loves annuities. And my challenge was like, look, you got to do 1,000, but no annuities can count for it. Like, it's got to be all life. And he did that for 3 months in a row. And that's how it began, and his thing is just, he hires a lot, so kudos to him, because he's on LinkedIn, he's on Instagram. I will send him people, be like, hey man, this is my old group. My bridges have been burnt because X, Y, and Z. Try to get in there. And he does, and he's hired a bunch of people. He just hired like one of the top GAs from our practice company. So, it takes time, guys. It takes time. It's not an overnight thing. It's all about, perspective and making the decision to go for it. You got to want it. You got to go for it. And that was him. He'd call me, and, I'd be like, damn, like I keep telling him the same thing. And, our job is to tell him the same thing as many times as need to hear it, because one day it'll click. And, sure enough, it has for him. So he finished with 200 families last month, and he's on pace for 300 if he keeps that pace up this month. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Great. I'm really proud of him.
I mean, that's awesome. I shot him a text and told him he would be on the call, and he said, yeah, but I guess he forgot. But shout out. Am I saying his name wrong? I thought his name was Micah. It's Mika.
You know what? He'll tell you himself. You can call him Mika, Micah. I mean,
Micha.
He doesn't mind.
Is it a Jewish name? It's a Jewish name, huh?
I think so, right?
I don't know.
He's from Israel?
Well, I don't know. I don't think he's Jewish, actually. But
the talk religion.
Yeah. No, let's not talk religion.
Yeah, anyway.
But God is good, though. God is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I wanted to give him a quick shout out. Give you a shout out. What's your team goals for the end of the second or third and fourth quarter for the year?
Well, our goals, right now, to be very, just transparent, we're restructuring everything, so it's a good thing what Excellence is going through right now. And I'm really excited for everybody on the team, because, everything's becoming much more scalable, and everyone's just, kind of getting a fresh start. So, our goals are to double. We got to keep doubling up. We got to keep doubling up in lead flow and hires, and just every area of the business. And really, it's just those two areas. And if we do that, it's going to happen. It might not happen, immediately, or maybe it can, but that's the whole point is, I answered your question in the beginning with just doing the basics. It's really just two things: writing business and hiring. And I think if you do both, you don't have to be a monster like at both either. You really don't. Like, yeah. I mean, you could be average and get it done. I mean, should you? That's dependent on you, whatever. But, if you just do that consistently, man, it just, it happens. You get blessed, because that's the thing is people will do it for 2 weeks, maybe a month, 2 months, but do it every day, all the time. And it just pays off. I mean, that's, what I'm passing on to my team is I just don't stop. I just keep hiring, keep recruiting. I'm in a place where I can help my people. Hey, man, you know what? I'm in a place where I make deals with them. You write X amount of business, I'll help you with some hires, recruits, so that's a position that, I'm allowed to take now at this point, but it doesn't stop for me either. Like last month I helped 41 families. I just still got to do it, and the best thing is I don't want to depend on overrides. I don't want to depend on bonuses. I just want to, make as much money as I can. And, when we have this license, we're unstoppable. So yeah. No excuses. No one should be broke with this license.
That's so true. Hey, bro, there was an old saying that when you have this license, you have the license to print money. And it's so real. Like, dude, you can have like zero money and then in the matter of a day or two.
Yeah, I think
10 families. There you go.
Keep it 10 families. That's crazy.
10 families.
Right. 100%.
Now, are you gonna bring out? I know we had this competition where we're gonna have a group meeting out in Las Vegas for
Yes,
Elite.
sir.
Financial, obviously, Excellence will be there. Isaiah Tadamy's team, I forgot his team's name. And
Elevate.
with Elevate, and then with Brad Lee.
Yeah.
That is next Friday, correct? July 29th?
That is Thursday. There's a top producer dinner, and then Friday there's a top manager training. So you got to qualify for these events. So yeah, a few people, not everybody, but a few people from each team will be going. So shout out to invited. They made it.
I believe you qualified for sure, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. You've always, and here's the thing that I'm good at looking in. And ever since you came in, you were hungry. And I think that's why that's helped you grow in the way that you've grown, is that you didn't make excuses. There's a lot of people that come in this business and they got so many excuses, like so many, but the excuses have to stop sooner or later. Either you're going to do it or you're not, you know?
I appreciate that. I really do. But the truth is I came in with a lot of excuses. I came in
with
a lot.
But you still did. You still got past it though.
No, I mean,
past it.
And I'm still going through them. I still have a lot right now. I'm gonna just keep it 100. Like, this is, when you hang out with people like Albert, like Sean Mike, like Andrew Taylor, you just get challenged, bro. It's like, going to that Dallas meeting, it's like, damn, like we can't stop. There's just like Sean Mike is crazy, like in a good way. Like he's either flying somewhere, he's doing it. Like, look at his Instagram. He's always doing something, Yep. It's like he handles all of FFL. We just handle our own agencies. Like, there's definitely excuses in our way. And number one, we have to become aware of them. And number two, we got to knock them down one by one. So, I mean, I definitely get challenged, and I definitely don't want to compare myself either, because that'll be very discouraging. But just got to keep it 100 with yourself, and just know what you're good at, know what your weaknesses are, work on those, and you'll get better day by day, one day at a time.
Absolutely. Hey, and shout out to everyone who got invited to the training in Las Vegas. Keep putting up the hard work, and good things will happen. Anytime you can be in a room with Sean Mike, Andrew Taylor, Paul McLean, Albert or Jack or whoever, you're in a different playing field. You're talking to people who have an income that can really, if you're able to adapt their way of doing business, and they're definitely duplicatable, you can make a substantial income at Family First Life as long as you follow the blueprint, and they'll challenge you. Albert will challenge me. Are you working? Yes. Okay. I can tell your numbers are up. Are you not working? Yes. I can tell your numbers are down. So if you're not having these honest questions with yourself day to day in the business, and not week to week, not, oh, I helped 5 families last week. No, it's every single day. I need to help someone every single day so I can make sure I stay, consistent in the business. I know if you have those conversations with yourself, more than likely you'll be able to have a more productive, career here at Family First Life. So shout out to everyone that got invited to the private event with Albert and, Jack and Isaiah Tadamy's team. We'll see you guys in Las Vegas. But I mean, that's nothing else I really got. I mean, I appreciate you guys being on. Once again, we did help about 425 families so far.
Something like that.
So we helped out Family First Life Elite, helped out 425 families so far. Good job, everyone. Keep going out there, crushing the phones. Keep going out there, crushing the field. Help and serve. Serve with a very servant heart. Make sure your clients understand that you care for them, and the sales will just roll in.
468.
468.
Number.
Albert texted you. He said, "Get it right."
Yeah, my Apple Watch.
468.
460.
We're going after 2 million. So we're right there, man. We're right there. Got to keep doing what we're doing.
So shout out to Albert for doing a great job of bringing so many leaders together and pushing us all to be better. And I guess we'll catch you next week. Have a good day, guys.